Fake HOA Cops Plan C fails, but a traitor in my Midwest alliance shocks me. Hey folks, welcome back to HOA Karen Files. If you thought the battle with Veronica and the fake HOA cops in Plan B was peak drama, buckle up, because Plan C is going to blow your mind. I'm Jack Callahan, your storyteller, and today we face the biggest conspiracy yet. Maxwell Ridge, the billionaire behind Karen, is now targeting the entire Midwest, and this time, he's playing dirtier than ever. The Chaos Goats, my brother Sheriff Luke, and our entire community are ready. But are we enough? Help keep my spirits up by smashing that like button right now. It's like a headbutt from Maggie straight to Maxwell's smug face. Drop a comment and guess how insane Plan C will get. And don't forget to hit subscribe with the notification bell so you won't miss a second of this war. Let's dive in. 2 weeks after Veronica Miles was cuffed and the Midwest Safety Task Force, MSTF, crumbled, I thought I could finally catch my breath. Grace Farm still stood strong. My goats, Maggie, Billy, Daisy, and Rusty, were back to lazily grazing like they hadn't rammed a bulldozer into a ditch, and Jake Hensley's expose on Maxwell Ridge had gone statewide, prompting the FBI to step in. But deep down, I knew that final black envelope labeled Plan C, all or nothing, wasn't a joke. Maxwell Ridge, the DC real estate mogul, wasn't the kind of man to quit. He had money, power, and the law in his pocket. I just didn't expect him to strike so soon. It was Wednesday morning. I was brewing coffee in my dad's dented tin mug, watching my niece Lily play with Daisy in the yard. She's 8, with wild brown hair, giggling as Daisy licked her hands. I thought to myself, you've got to keep her safe, Jack. Don't let Maxwell get near her. Luke had already increased security around Lily after that surveillance video Veronica had on her USB stick, but I still checked the fences every morning, not for runaway goats, but because that chill from Plan B hadn't left me. I had just retightened the barbed wire on the east fence when my phone rang. Don Wallace's number popped up, our neighbor and the lawyer who helped us beat Veronica. I picked up. Don, what's the news? Did the FBI nab Maxwell yet? Don was panting through the phone. Jack, it's bad. Maxwell just made bail. Not Veronica, Maxwell himself. The FBI summoned him last week for bribing Senator Krieger, but his lawyer spun it as a legal business transaction. He's in Ohio, Jack, our town. My blood ran cold. Ohio? What the hell's he doing here? Don replied, hosting a public town hall tonight at the county community center. Open invite to all local farmers. I bet he's here to buy land. But Jack, I got word from a source inside the FBI. Maxwell's been lobbying a new federal bill called the Midwest Land Reallocation Act. If it passes, he can legally seize 500 acres, from your farm to Kansas. I slammed my hand on the fence, startling Daisy, who bolted. Legally? He's buying the law to steal our land. Don confirmed, exactly. And Jack, he's got a new team, not MSDF, but a private security firm, like a Blackwater-type outfit. These guys aren't fake cops. They're real mercenaries. I clenched my jaw. Fine. If Maxwell wants to play, I'll play. I'm going to that meeting tonight. Are you coming? Don agreed. I'm in. But Jack, bring Luke. I've got a bad feeling about this. I called Luke right after, told him everything. He was patrolling the southern end of the county, and he growled. Maxwell Ridge showing up here? He's got nerve. I'll be at that meeting. But Jack, be careful. If he's got hired guns, this ain't a bluff. I nodded, I know. But I'm not letting him take our land. Not Grace's, not Sarah's, not anybody's. I hung up, looked back at Lily still playing in the yard, and decided not to say anything to her. Not yet. But I knew. If Maxwell was targeting the entire region, I'd need more than goats and Luke. I'd need the whole community. That evening, I drove my pickup to the county community center, Luke in the passenger seat, badge gleaming, and Don in the back with a thick folder, bribery evidence from Plan B. The place was packed. Over 200 farmers from around the county, from 70-year-olds like Mrs. Delaney to single moms like Sarah and Gwen. The air was heavy with whispers about Maxwell, the Reallocation Act, and rumors that their land was next. I stood in a corner and watched Maxwell Ridge take the stage. A 58-year-old man with salt and pepper hair, a square jaw, expensive gray suit, and a smug grin that said untouchable. He wasn't alone. 6 men in black, earpieces in, cold eyes, clear mercs flanked him. Maxwell grabbed the mic. voice smooth and deep. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Maxwell Ridge, CEO of Mason Ridge Holdings. I'm here to bring opportunity to the Midwest, a cutting-edge eco-industrial zone with jobs, schools, and homes for all. But to do that, I need land, 500 acres, from this county to Kansas. I'll pay above market value. But if you refuse, the newly passed Midwest Land Reallocation Act grants me the legal authority to proceed. The crowd buzzed, some shouted, "Get out of here!" Maxwell raised a hand. "I understand your emotions. But this is progress. Nothing can stop it." I'd had enough. I stepped forward. "Maxwell Ridge, I'm Jack Callahan. You've got the nerve to show your face after sending Karen, then Veronica, to steal our land? You think we're stupid? Your law was bought with dirty money. We've got proof of your bribe to Senator Krieger." The crowd roared. Maxwell smirked. "Callahan, I know who you are. You beat Karen. You beat Veronica. But this isn't a local game anymore. Got proof? Show it, or shut up." Don held up the folder. "Here, Maxwell. Emails, transactions, testimony from Zach Larson. It all points to you." Maxwell laughed. "Fake docs. My lawyers will tear that apart in 10 minutes. And you, Callahan, better watch yourself. I hear you've got a cute little niece, Lily, right?" My heart skipped a beat. He dared mention Lily, out loud, in front of everyone. Luke gripped my shoulder, whispering, "Stay calm, Jack. He wants you to snap." But I couldn't help it. I shouted, "Touch my niece, and I swear, you won't leave this room in one piece, Maxwell." The crowd erupted, fists raised, but Maxwell only smiled. 24 hours, Callahan. Sell the land, or I take it. And this time, no one's coming to save you. He stepped off the stage, flanked by his mercs, leaving behind an air heavier than a brewing storm. On the drive home, Luke said, "Jack, I'll send this folder to the FBI again, but Maxwell's got top-tier lawyers. We'll need stronger evidence. And I'm assigning more protection for Lily. He mentioned her to rattle you." I nodded. "I know. But I'm not letting him win. Not this time." I got home, watched Lily sleeping on the sofa, and made a vow. "Maxwell, you want this whole region? You'll have to face an army, and I'll be leading it." After the town hall, I couldn't sleep. Not because of the lukewarm coffee I drank at 1 a.m., but because Maxwell Ridge's threat about Lily kept echoing in my mind. He didn't just want land. He wanted to break me, break the entire Midwest, and he was willing to get dirty to do it. I sat in the kitchen staring at the map from the black, Plan C envelope. Dozens of red coordinates from Grace Farm to Kansas. 500 acres Maxwell wanted to transform into his eco-industrial empire. I knew I couldn't fight this alone. Not against mercenaries, federal law, and an entire system backing Maxwell. I needed an army, and luckily, I had a whole community ready. The next morning, I called Grace, Dawn, Sarah and Gwen, and Ellie over to the house. Grace showed up first, shotgun in hand, eyes blazing. "Jack, I heard what happened last night. Maxwell threatened Lily. He just kicked a hornet's nest he's gonna regret." Dawn arrived next, laptop in tow. "Jack, I reached out to lawyers in 3 neighboring counties. They've been threatened by Maxwell too. If we unite, we can file a class action lawsuit." Sarah walked in, eyes red. "Jack, I'm not letting Maxwell steal anyone else's land. I lost mine once. I won't let it happen again." Ellie, wearing a backwards baseball cap, grinned. "I don't know anything about lawsuits, but I run fast. Tell me what you need, Jack." I spread the map out on the table. "Everyone, this is Plan C. Maxwell wants 500 acres, from here to Kansas. He's got federal law, mercenaries, and top-tier lawyers. But we've got each other, and we've got the heart of this region." Grace nodded. "We need more people, not just from our county, but the whole Midwest." Don chimed in. "I know someone who might help. A young hacker named Cody, works freelance in Columbus. If Maxwell lobbied with bribes, Cody can dig up digital proof, emails, transactions, whatever." I nodded. "Do it. Don, contact Cody. Sarah, call the other farmers. We need an alliance. Ellie, help me prep the farm. If Maxwell attacks, we need to be ready." Sarah worked fast. In 2 days, she gathered over 50 farmers from 5 surrounding counties, from 80-year-olds like Hank Miller to young moms like Jenna Cole. We held the meeting at Grace Farm and called ourselves the Midwest Alliance. I stood on a wooden crate and addressed everyone. "Maxwell Ridge thinks we're just dumb farmers, easy to bribe or scare. But we're made of steel. We've survived storms, droughts, and everything else. He wants our land. He's gonna pay dearly." The crowd erupted, raising shovels, pitchforks, even hunting rifles, not for violence, but to show we weren't backing down. Don made contact with Cody, a 24-year-old hacker with neon blue hair, round glasses, looking like he'd walked off a sci-fi set. He arrived at Grace Farm with a laptop and a can of Red Bull. "Jack, Don told me about Maxwell. I once hacked a major insurance company. This'll be easy. Give me 48 hours. I'll find the bribery evidence." I nodded. "Do it, Cody. But be careful. Maxwell's got people everywhere." Cody grinned. "I was born careful, man." While Cody worked non-stop, Ellie and I reinforced the farm. We put up new barbed wire fences, set up simple tripwire traps around the goat pens, non-lethal, just to slow intruders, and checked the hunting ammo. Ellie hummed "Shake It Off" while tying wire, then asked, "Jack, what do you think Maxwell will try next? He can't just buy us all, right?" I shook my head. "He doesn't need to buy us. He's got federal law. But I bet he'll try to scare us first. He already targeted Lily. I'm not letting that happen again." Ellie nodded. "I'll keep an eye on her. If anything's off, I'll sprint straight to you." That afternoon, Sarah returned with news. "Jack, I spoke with 70 farmers. Everyone wants in. But there's a problem. Some of them got black envelopes like yours, with threats, sell your land, or lose everything. One of them, Hank Miller, said a man in black showed up at his farm last night, smashed his chicken coop, and left a note. Final warning. Maxwell is applying pressure." I clenched my jaw. He wants to scare us into selling. But we're not backing down. We fight. Cody worked around the clock. By the evening of the second day, he called me via Zoom. "Jack, I've got it. I hacked Maxwell's emails. He sent Senator Krieger an attachment detailing a $2 million transaction to lobby for the Reallocation Act. There's even audio. Maxwell says clearly, 'This bill must pass before Christmas, or I lose 500 acres.' I also found emails to a guy named Victor Kane, head of a private military group called Blackthorn Security. Maxwell wrote, 'Apply pressure to Callahan. Target the girl if needed.'" I froze. "The girl, he means Lily?" Cody nodded. "Exactly. Jack, you have to protect her. Victor Kane's not just some goon." I called Luke immediately. "Luke, it's real. Maxwell's targeting Lily." Cody found the email. Maxwell ordered a guy named Victor Kane, a mercenary leader, to pressure me through Lily. Luke exploded. "Son of a... I'm bringing Lily to my place now. Her mom needs to know. I'll call backup from the Columbus PD, but Jack, you better watch your back. Blackthorn Security doesn't mess around." I nodded. "I know, but I need you here too. If Maxwell makes a move, I need my brother." Luke agreed. "I'll be there tomorrow morning, with the whole unit." I returned to Grace Farm, where the Midwest Alliance was holding its second meeting. I told everyone about Maxwell's emails, about Victor Kane, and the danger to Lily. Grace raised her shotgun. "If Maxwell lays a finger on Lily, I'll shoot first and ask later." Sarah held my hand. "Jack, we're here for you, for all of us. If Maxwell wants land, he'll have to go through this entire region." Mrs. Delaney, still in her floral nightgown, raised a broom. "Darn right. I'll sweep those mercs off our land." The crowd burst into laughter, but I saw the steel in their eyes. We weren't just farmers anymore. We were a family. That night, I stood in the yard watching Maggie munch grass under the moonlight. The meanest goat in the herd looked up, sensing the fight ahead. I whispered, "Maggie, you ready? Maxwell wants to play dirty. We'll play dirtier." Maggie bleated once, like she understood. With the Midwest Alliance, Cody, and my stubborn herd of goats, I had a shot. But Maxwell had already gone after Lily. And for that, I would never forgive him. After the Midwest Alliance was formed and Cody uncovered the email from Maxwell Ridge ordering Victor Kane to target Lily, I knew our time was running out. Maxwell wasn't the kind of man who waited. He had already publicly threatened Lily at the town hall, and the email Cody hacked only confirmed he was willing to go dirtier than ever. I stood in the yard of Grace Farm at 5 a.m., holding a cold cup of coffee, watching Maggie and the goats lazily munching grass. But I felt no peace. The chill I had from Plan B had turned into a storm inside me. I knew Maxwell would strike, and I had to be ready. Luke arrived that morning with 3 officers from the Columbus Department, not local patrol guys, but the ones he trusted most. He stepped out of the cruiser, badge gleaming, voice low and steady. Jack, I moved Lily and her mom to my place. I've got 2 men on them 24/7, but you need to be careful. Victor Kane and Blackthorn security are no joke. I sent Cody's emails to the FBI, but they need time to investigate. I nodded. Thanks, Luke. But I'm not waiting for the FBI. If Maxwell wants to play, I'm playing first. Luke frowned. What do you mean? I smirked. I'm going to show him we're not afraid. The Midwest Alliance is ready, and so is Maggie. I called Grace, Sarah, Ellie, and Dawn to an emergency meeting at the farm. Grace showed up with a shotgun slung over her shoulder. Sarah brought a list of 70 farmers who'd joined the alliance. Ellie wore her backwards cap, and Dawn carried his laptop loaded with Cody's data. I said, everyone, Maxwell ordered Victor Kane to target Lily, but I won't let that happen. He wants to scare us, to make us sell. Today, we show him we won't back down. Sarah nodded. Jack, I told the other farmers, they're ready. Hank Miller and Jenna Cole are organizing patrols around nearby farms to report any suspicious activity. Ellie added, I've set tripwire traps around the goat pens, non-lethal, but enough to slow them down. Grace raised her gun. Good. If they come here, I'll shoot first and ask questions later. Maxwell didn't wait long. That afternoon, while Ellie and I were inspecting the fence, a sleek black SUV pulled up on the West Road. Not the kind MSDF used back in Plan B, but an armored vehicle with the Blackthorn security logo on the door. 3 men stepped out, dressed in black, steel-toe boots, wireless earpieces, and sidearms holstered. The leader, tall, buzz-cut, scarred face, walked up to the fence and said coldly, Jack Callahan, I'm Victor Kane, commander of Blackthorn Security. Maxwell Ridge sends his regards. Sell the land now, or we'll take it, starting with this farm. I crossed my arms. Victor, you can tell Maxwell I'm not selling. If he wants this land, he'll have to go through me. Victor smirked. I didn't come to negotiate, Callahan. This is your final warning. Next time, we won't talk. He turned to leave, but before getting into the SUV, one of the men tossed a black envelope over the fence, just like the ones before. I picked it up, opened it. Inside was a photo of Lily walking home from school, backpack in hand, smiling at a friend. Scrawled in ink. Cute kid. Would be a shame if something happened. My heart pounded, not from fear, but fury. Ellie looked over my shoulder, her face going pale. Jack, they're watching Lily? I gritted my teeth. Yeah, but they're not going to touch her, I swear. I called Luke immediately. Luke, Blackthorn just showed up. They had a photo of Lily, and they're threatening her. You need to get her out of there, somewhere absolutely safe. Luke growled. I'm taking her to Uncle Mark's in Dayton. No one knows about that place. But Jack, be careful. They're playing real dirty now. I barely had time to prepare when that night, Maxwell made his move, not with bulldozers or paperwork, but with something that nearly broke me. We were mid-meeting with the Midwest Alliance when my phone rang, Lily's mom. I picked up, her voice panicked. Jack, Lily was attacked. I picked her up from Luke's. We were heading to Dayton when a black SUV cut us off. 2 men in black tried to open the doors, but I floored it and got away. She's crying. Jack, they tried to kidnap her. Blood rushed to my head as I shouted. Take a breath. Where are you now? Where's Luke? She answered. I'm at a gas station near Dayton. Luke's on his way. But Jack, they knew where we were. Luke had just arrived at Grace Farm. I turned to him. Luke, Blackthorn just tried to kidnap Lily on the way to Dayton. Her mom got away, but they found them. Luke slammed his hand on the table. God damn it. I'm going to Dayton now. I'm calling backup from the Dayton PD. Jack, stay here and guard the farm. They could strike both places at once. But I couldn't just sit and wait. I turned to Grace. Grace, I need you and Sarah to hold down the fort. Ellie, you're coming with me. We're heading to Dayton. Grace nodded. Go, Jack. I'll protect this place, and Maggie will too. Maggie, as if understanding, let out a loud meh, her curved horns glinting under the lights. Ellie and I jumped into the truck and tore down the road to Dayton. 2 hours, but it felt like a lifetime. Ellie clutched the passenger door, her voice shaky. Jack, if something happens to Lily, I won't forgive myself. I growled. Me neither, Ellie. But they won't touch her, not on my watch. When we arrived at the gas station, Luke was already there, cradling Lily in his arms. She was sobbing, her face pale. Uncle Jack, the bad guys, they tried to take me. I dropped to my knees, held her tight. I'm here now, Lily. No one's going to hurt you. I promise. Her mom was still shaking. Jack, they had guns. If I hadn't floored it. Luke pulled me aside. Jack, that was Blackthorn, no doubt. I've got the FBI tracing the SUV through traffic cams. But Maxwell's playing dirty. He wants you scared, wants you to fold. I clench my fists. He's wrong, Luke. I'm not folding. I'm fighting to the end. I hugged Lily again and whispered, be strong, okay? I won't let this happen again. She nodded, still tearful. I'll be strong like you and like Maggie. On the way back, I got a call from Sarah. Jack, 3 farms were hit tonight. Hank Miller's chicken coop was burned down. Jenna Cole's fence was cut, and another had sell or die sprayed in red across the barn. Blackthorn stepping up the pressure. I roared. Maxwell thinks we'll cave? He's dead wrong. I called Cody. Cody, you got anything new? Cody replied. Jack, I just found another email. Maxwell to Victor Kane. Increase pressure, vandalism, threats, whatever it takes. If Callahan won't sell, take the kid. I also tracked Victor's IP. He's operating out of an abandoned warehouse near your county. I said, good work, Cody. Send the address to Luke. We're going in. I turned to Luke. We've got Victor Kane's location, an old warehouse nearby. We strike first. We don't wait. Luke nodded. All right. But Jack, we need a plan. Blackthorn isn't fake cops. They're real mercs. I smirked. I've got a plan, and I've got Maggie. I knew this battle wasn't just about land. It was about Lily, about our community, and everything we called home. After the attempted kidnapping of Lily and the wave of farm vandalism carried out by Blackthorn security, I knew our time was up. Maxwell Ridge didn't just want land. He wanted to crush the spirit of the entire Midwest. And he was doing it by going after the things we loved most. Our families, our homes, our freedom. But he was wrong. I wasn't backing down, and neither was the Midwest Alliance. With Victor Kane's warehouse location provided by Cody, I decided we wouldn't wait for Maxwell to strike again. We'd hit first. This was the final battle, and I was going to make him pay. We gathered at Grace Farm at 3 a.m., the quietest hour, when even the goats were still asleep and the cold pierced through my flannel shirt. Luke stood beside me, police badge gleaming, hand on his sidearm. Jack, I called in backup from the Dayton precinct. They'll be here in an hour. But if we're hitting Victor Kane's warehouse, we need to move fast. Blackthorn aren't fake cops. They're trained mercs. I nodded. I know. But we've got the element of surprise. They don't expect us to strike first. Ellie, cap on backwards, grinned. I'm in, Jack. I'm fast. I'll be the decoy. Grace raised her shotgun. I'm staying here to guard the farm. If they come, Maggie and I will give them hell. Sarah took my hand. Jack, the whole region's behind you. Go. We'll protect everything here. Me, Luke, Ellie, and 3 officers from Dayton, Mike, Tara, and Carlos, jumped in the truck and headed straight for the abandoned warehouse Cody had found, 20 miles east of the farm. The night was pitch black, moonlight barely lighting the bumpy dirt road. The warehouse appeared through the shadows, an old, rusted metal building, with flickering fluorescent light leaking from the windows. I parked 200 meters away and whispered, Luke, you and the team take the front. Ellie and I will circle around to the back. Ellie, you'll be the distraction, run past the window, draw their attention. Ellie nodded. Got it, Jack. I'm faster than Maggie on a rampage. We split up. Ellie and I crept through the tall grass toward the back door. She darted across the window and shouted, Hey, losers, come catch me. Immediately, I heard shouting from inside. 3 Blackthorn goons burst out the front door, guns drawn, chasing Ellie. Luke and his team seized the moment, storming the front with a shout. Police, drop your weapons. Gunfire rang out, not live rounds, but tear gas rounds from Luke's launcher, making them cough and stumble. I kicked down the back door and charged inside, where I found Victor Kane, tall, scarred, and standing beside a table full of maps and comms gear. Victor turned, drew his pistol. Callahan, you've got guts, but you really think you can beat me? I smirked. I don't need to beat you. Victor, I just need to keep you here until the FBI shows up. He laughed. The FBI? You think Maxwell can't buy them off. But before he could pull the trigger, Ellie burst through the window and hurled an old paint can at his head. He staggered, and I dove in, landing a punch square to his jaw and knocking him to the ground. I ripped the gun from his grip and shouted, "You and Maxwell threatened my niece. You're going to pay for that." Luke rushed in and cuffed him. "Jack, the FBI's on the way. We've got him." But it wasn't over yet. On Victor's table sat an open laptop, an email from Maxwell, sent 10 minutes earlier. "Victor, if Callahan strikes, activate Phase 2. Take the girl immediately." My blood went cold. The girl meant Lily. I called her mother right away. "Where's Lily?" "Maxwell just ordered a kidnapping. Asterisk right now. Asterisk." She panicked. "I'm in Dayton, but I left Lily with Luke's team at your uncle's house. I thought it was safe." I turned to Luke. "Where's Lily?" Luke's face went pale. "She's with Tara at Uncle Mark's, but Tara just called. A black SUV is approaching." I didn't wait. I jumped in the truck, Luke and Ellie right behind me. We sped toward Dayton while Luke called Tara. "Tara, protect Lily. Blackthorn's coming." Tara shouted back, "They're here. 2 armed men. I'm holding the door, but we need backup." I floored it, heart pounding. When we arrived, 2 Blackthorn operatives were already at the front door, Tara inside, shouting, "Back off." I leapt from the truck, ran full speed, and slammed my fist into the nearest goon's face. He crumpled. The other drew his weapon, but Luke fired a tear gas round, making him choke. Ellie tackled him from behind, and I kicked his gun away. Inside, Lily was curled behind the sofa, crying. "Uncle Jack." I scooped her up and whispered, "I'm here now, Lily. No one's going to hurt you." Tara, breathing hard, said, "Jack, they had direct orders from Maxwell to take Lily and use her against you." I nodded. "I know, but they failed." Luke cuffed the 2 men and called the FBI. "We've got 2 more, and solid proof Maxwell ordered the kidnapping." With Victor Kane and 2 Blackthorn agents in custody, I knew it was our chance to end this. I called Cody. "Got anything new?" Cody replied, "Jack, I just hacked Maxwell's server. He's in D.C., meeting with Senator Krieger to finalize the Reallocation Act. I've got an audio file. Maxwell says, 'Callahan can't stop me. This bill gets me 500 acres no matter what.' I also have the hotel address, 8 p.m. tonight." I said, "Good work, Cody. Send it to Dawn. We're heading to D.C." That night, Luke, Dawn, Ellie, and I flew to D.C. No time to plan, but it didn't matter. We arrived at the hotel where Maxwell was meeting Krieger in a private conference room. Dawn, carrying a thick folder and Cody's recordings, stepped forward. "Maxwell Ridge, I'm Don Wallace, representing the Midwest Alliance. We have proof you bribed Krieger, ordered a child's abduction, and coordinated domestic sabotage. The FBI is on their way." Maxwell laughed. "Proof? My lawyers will shred it." But Krieger, ghost white, stood up. "Maxwell, if any of this is true, I'm out." He walked away, leaving Maxwell alone. The FBI arrived 10 minutes later and cuffed Maxwell in front of us. He growled, "Callahan, you think you've won? I'll be back. Asterisk, you can't stop progress. Asterisk." I smirked. "You're wrong, Maxwell. Progress isn't stealing land from farmers. Progress is us, standing here, protecting what we love." He was dragged out, and Don clapped my shoulder. "Jack, we did it. The bill will be scrapped. The Midwest is safe." On the flight home, I called Grace. "Grace, it's over, we won. Maxwell's arrested. The bill is dead." Grace laughed. "Well done, Jack. Maggie says she's proud of you." I laughed too, but deep down, I knew this battle left scars, not just on me, but on Lily, on all of us. But we won, not with money, not with power, but with the spirit of the Midwest. After Maxwell Ridge was cuffed and taken away by the FBI from that D.C. hotel, it felt like a giant weight had finally lifted off my chest. He had lost, not because of money or influence, but because of the spirit of the Midwest, because of the Midwest Alliance, and because of people like Grace, Sarah, Ellie, Don, and Cody, people who stood with me when it mattered most. The Midwest Land Reallocation Act was scrapped, Senator Krieger was under investigation, and the 500 acres stretching from Grace Farm to Kansas remained in the hands of those who had bled, sweat, and fought for it. But the victory didn't come cheap. I still remembered Lily's terrified eyes during the kidnapping attempt and the destruction left behind by Victor Kane. We had won, but at a cost. I flew back to Ohio the next morning, bringing Luke, Ellie, and Don with me. When we arrived at Grace Farm, the whole community had gathered, over 70 farmers from 5 neighboring counties, from old Hank Miller to young mom Jenna Cole. Grace stood in the yard, shotgun in hand, grinning wide. Jack Callahan, I knew you'd do it. Maggie says she's proud of you. Maggie, the fiercest goat of the bunch, let out a loud meh, like she agreed. Sarah ran up and hugged me. Jack, you saved us all, not just our land, but the spirit of the Midwest. Mrs. Delaney, still in her floral nightgown, held up her broom. Told you I'd sweep those mercs off our porches. Laughter broke out across the yard, and for the first time in weeks, I felt warmth. We weren't just neighbors, we were family. Later, I drove out to Dayton to pick up Lily from my uncle's house. She ran out and threw her arms around me. Uncle Jack, Mom said you caught the bad guys. You're amazing. I knelt down, ruffling her hair. I didn't do it alone, Lily. I had the whole Midwest behind me. And you were so strong. She smiled, though fear still lingered in her eyes. Will the bad guys come back? I hesitated. I wanted to say no. But after Karen, Veronica, and Maxwell, I knew I couldn't promise that. So instead, I said, if they do, I'll protect you. And you'll learn how to protect your land too, deal? Lily nodded. Deal. I want to be strong like you, and like Maggie. That night, the Midwest Alliance threw a small party at Grace Farm. Nothing fancy, just old wooden tables, cornbread, grilled meat, and cold beer. Grace stood up, raised her cup. We fought, and we won, for our land, our families, and our future. Cheers to Jack Callahan, who led us through it all. The crowd erupted, and I laughed. Thanks, everyone, but don't forget Maggie and the goats. They had but more bad guys than I did. Ellie shouted, Maggie deserves a medal. Maggie let out another meh at the perfect time, making the crowd howl with laughter. As the night wound down, I sat alone on the porch steps, watching the moonlight fall across the fields. I thought about my father, who left this farm to me, and everything I'd learned through the battles, with Karen, Veronica, and Maxwell. I thought this was the end, that I could finally rest. But life in the Midwest is never quiet for long. As I got up to head inside, I noticed a black envelope under the oak tree near the fence, just like the ones Maxwell used to send. My heart skipped. I picked it up and opened it. Inside was a photo of the Midwest Alliance meeting at Grace Farm. Everyone smiling, standing strong. But one face was circled in red, Jenna Cole, the young mother who'd been with us from the beginning, but always quiet, always watching. Handwritten across the bottom. She knew everything. And she told us. Maxwell was just the beginning. I went cold. Jenna Cole, a traitor? Someone inside our alliance had been feeding information to Maxwell, or worse, to something bigger. I looked closer at the envelope. There was a small logo in the corner. A black eagle, wings spread, with the words, Echelon Group. I had never heard of them before, but I knew. Nothing good came from black envelopes and secret empires. I slipped the envelope into my coat and stared out at the fields. Maxwell hadn't acted alone. He was just a pawn in something far bigger. But before I could confront Echelon, I had to deal with the traitor in our midst, Jenna Cole. I whispered into the night. The Midwest isn't safe yet. But as long as I've got this community, these goats, and our spirit, I'll face whatever comes. And that's a wrap for Plan C. Maxwell Ridge is behind bars. The Midwest is safe. And Jack Callahan and the Midwest Alliance came out on top. But the drama doesn't end there. Jack just discovered a spy inside the Alliance, Jenna Cole. Who is she really? Why did she betray them? And what is the Echelon Group, the shadowy force behind Maxwell? Drop a comment below. What do you think Jenna's motive was? Was she blackmailed, or just in it for the money? Don't forget to hit that like button if you love Maggie and her gang of chaos goats, and smash subscribe with the notification bell so you don't miss the next wave of drama. Thanks for watching HOA Karen Files. See you in the next story.